Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Throwback Thursdays.
You are listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk. I am the beautiful man. The sexy psychic is close at hand. Charles in charge, taking your calls to 751-1041. The lovely Yolanda Weinberger is in studio, my friends. This is Throwback Thursday, today where you, the listening audience, gets to participate in the James T. Harris Show.
It's the Throwback Thursday request thread. You can find it on my Facebook page at Ross Williamson. Anything from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. No FCC violations. That means no cuss words. Coming up this hour, Van Morrison, Humble Pie, and the Scorpions.
If you are just joining us this hour, my friends, I had the opportunity to be on Good Morning America, representing you. They wanted to know the Good Morning America is doing a series of the first 100 days of the Trump administration. And what they wanted to do was talk about how he has revolutionized social media and how he is using it. And they brought me on to represent the audience. They want to know what my listeners thought about President Trump and the use of the Twitter machine. And then during one of my responses, a coughing fit broke out somewhere in New York, I do believe. And we've been kind of making light of that all show long. Yes, indeed.
We've had fun.
Not everyone enjoyed my appearance today
really?
on Good Morning America. Yeah, there were some haters out there.
Really?
Yeah, straight up haters.
Who was hating on
One
you?
of them's on the line right now. We welcome to the show. Sean from Capitol Hill. Sean on Capitol Hill, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
Oh, what's up, man? We are in the streets this evening. It is going down, celebrating 100 years of President Trump in office. That's right, we're drinking.
100 years.
Yeah, years.
Sorry,
They
100
definitely
Yeah,
are
100
drinking.
years. That would be
My
a
bad.
celebration. 100 years, an amazing accomplishment. 100 days. Is it like a party atmosphere for the 100 days thing in Washington D.C.? Is that like something that's only celebrated there?
I think so. I mean, it's definitely whenever someone takes over office, in the executive office, it's definitely the major milestone to figure out where the rest of the presidency is going to go for that first 4 years. So, and you remember me even saying I'm going to hold my opinion until the first 100 days.
Okay.
So I'm drinking.
Here's
Now,
that's
just so
wait
you
a minute.
know-
Wait a minute. That's your
you know,
first. That's your official response to the first 100 days of President Trump. You're drinking.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because you know my motto now is get that money,
Get that money.
and now that I've got this money, I can afford to go drinking.
Well, there
anyway.
you go. Listen,
I'm being crazy.
the first
But
100
just so you know,
days.
if you hear any interruptions, you know how we do at the circus. Okay, when we hit the streets normally hit me.
Right.
So-
We don't want you asking any questions tonight. Oh, wait a minute. Are you in a bar again?
He's drinking.
He's
No,
drinking.
I'm on the street outside of a bar.
I see.
That's where I'm
I
at right
see.
now. In fact, someone's threatening to hit me right now just because I'm talking to you.
Well, is that same lady from North Carolina, is it?
No, it's a different lady that went to school in North Carolina.
See,
And guess
what-
what? She happens to be an accountant. So she's already given me some inside direct info on the tax cuts. Already given it to me.
And what
So
does she like the Trump tax cut plan?
she's been drinking longer than me, so that's what she thinks of it so far.
Okay. Wow.
But right now the plan's out. She needs to go through the plan. She said, "What else did you say? Since you don't want to be live." Okay, she hasn't read the whole thing yet, but I guarantee you within the next week I will have more inside information.
All right,
on
we have
how this will affect us all. So
Sean
anyway,
on Capitol
but
Hill
that's a little
drinking
side note,
outside,
little side note.
celebrating the first 100 days of Trump. That's all anybody is talking about. The first 100 days of Trump in 30 seconds, 40 seconds or less. What is the buzz on the street for the first 100 days of Donald Trump in Washington, D.C.?
Basically, the buzz on the street is it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a straight up, aisle against aisle fight, tooth and nail. People try to say that, he didn't get anything done. He got the Supreme Court secured. He
did.
got that nomination done. So if anything else, he got that done. But really what we're seeing is the left is going to fight him tooth and nail. So that's the buzz on the street, is that nothing is going to come easy at all. Nothing.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
A little twist on it. The first 100 days for the Democrats under Trump, that's what all they have, isn't it? We're going to fight tooth and nail. We're going to resist. Or is there anything else? Is there any kind of talk of organization? Is there any type talk about rebranding? Is there any type of talking about trying to develop a bench?
Well, you know what? That's actually a great point, because on the aisle, even though you hear a lot about resistance, you don't see anything on the reorganization or rebranding, and that's needed. And more people are saying, hey, it's one thing to resist, but if we don't have anything better to offer the American people that is concrete, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you just, sit there and say, well, we're not going to go along with this, and we're just going to resist the entire Trump administration. But then when you say, okay, so what are you going to do about health care? What are you going to do about taxes? What are you going to do about jobs? What are you going to do about all these other issues that are affecting all of us across the board? There's nothing there. So that is a big problem, on the left side of the aisle, that there is nothing concrete being offered. So, my standpoint is very simple. I'm going to go with the facts, and I'm not going to go with a bunch of rhetoric. And bottom line.
Let me ask you this.
And that's the problem.
Sean, we're speaking with Sean on Capitol Hill. He's standing outside of a bar where many people in Washington, D.C. are celebrating the 100 days of President Trump for various reasons. Government shutdown talk, how strong is that in Washington, D.C.?
Scared to death.
Really?
Quiet. Because, no one knows where it's going to go. The expectation with the amount of seats that the Republicans have in both the House and the Senate, it should be a shoo-in, i.e., it should have been done last week. So here it is. If it's not done by midnight, tomorrow night, then technically the government does shut down. Most likely they will be working through the weekend. So the hope is that sometime by the end of the weekend, they sign the new budget, life goes on Monday morning without a hitch. Yet, if it does not get done this weekend, we're looking at possibly 2 to possibly 5 weeks of the government being shut down, which will affect many different levels of people, okay? People who, of course it'll affect myself. I still got to go to work, but I'm not going to get a paycheck. So once again, I will be close in touch with my ancestors. But number two, it's the longer it drags out, the further it goes. All the government contractors that work there will be affected, and then all the businesses that they deal with will be affected. So the longer it goes, the harder it hits, to states such as Arizona, that may be quote unquote a flyover state, but still, there's lots of funds that come from the government that actually support other businesses, that support others that are working. So that's the scary part. And number one, that it could be long drawn out shutdown. Number two, that they may actually use this opportunity to shut down entire agencies like the Department of Education, like the EPA, that are scheduled to be shut down and totally scrapped by the end of the year. So
I imagine that must be.
Everyone scared.
I imagine people whose employment that is tied to those funds that would be frozen during a shutdown. I imagine that would be sort of a difficult, scary thing, because especially most people here can't survive for like 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 pay cycles without income. But
Exactly.
for a lot of folks in flyover country, that the shutdown doesn't have the type of impact on them as it does on the people who are inside of the bubble. So it's fascinating to us when we hear about the fear that's going on in Washington, D.C. because of this. And it's even more fascinating when you, as you just mentioned, it could be very easily averted if the Republicans were all on the same page.
Yeah, and see, and that's the thing. That's what's strange about this. When you have that many seats in the House and the Senate, it should be done much quicker. That's the expectation. So, we shall see. We shall see.
All right. Let me see here. Sean on Capitol Hill, a lot of agencies are. Is there the thought, and I got 2 minutes here, is there a thought that some agencies, if there is a shutdown, they wouldn't survive?
Exactly.
Okay.
And case in point, EPA.
Oh, that's
they
beautiful.
Can easily just say, we're just not going to fund you.
Oh,
You
my
fund
God.
other things.
You just got me, you made me all tingly with that.
You can tingle all you want, but any business that does anything environmental wise directly with the EPA, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So it's so anyways, so that is definitely a thought. It's never happened before, but
It's the first time for everything. Yeah.
Exactly. Everything's on the table.
All right.
Everything's on the table.
You got cyclists going by now?
I am so sorry about that. Yeah.
Don't apologize. That's life. That's real life right there.
That's real. Yeah. That's our cousins showing off. That's
there
all.
you
That's
go.
Our cousins doing our thing.
Sean on Capitol Hill, real quickly, tell people how they can find you.
They can find me on Facebook. Just type in Sean Capitol Hill. Enjoy the party. It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. First 100 days.
Speaking of celebration, I've got your fan club here that saw you this morning on Good Morning America, and they just want to know, is he going to come out and drink with us tonight? I'm like, no, he's busy.
I'll be out there this summer, Sean. We'll drink this summer, my friend.
That works.
Tell my fan club, thank you very much for tuning in.
Okay. Hey, Pookie, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean on Capitol Hill. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Right.
Van Morrison on Throwback Thursday.
You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
Humble Pie on Throwback Thursday.
Humble pie, is that what the Chicago Bears are going to be eating for the next 2 or 3 years, sexy sidekick?
They traded up to get a quarterback who has 13 total collegiate starts. Fewest from a first-round quarterback pick ever.
We had the NFL draft on. We have it on in the background. It was, Ross, being a sports fan, actually Ross had the opportunity to sit in for the vacationing Zach Clark on ESPN on Monday. Had a fantastic maiden voyage on the show, and of course, he's all things sports. He had a burst. There was a burst in the studio, not of outrage but of laughter. And he said that my Green Bay Packers won't have to worry about the Chicago Bears for a little while.
You know how you said Jay Cutler was the team's best quarterback?
Yeah,
because he threw so many interceptions.
One of the
to
best
them.
quarterbacks in Packer history.
Mitch Trubisky has a very good shot of being of essentially taking Jay Cutler's place as being the next great quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Outside of that room where he was picked and people were cheering, do you think Chicago right now is celebrating this pick?
Oh, they absolutely are. In fact, they traded up to get this pick to make sure that another team didn't take him because they're that high on a kid that has barely any collegiate experience, even though it's a weak quarterback class this year.
So you're telling me that Chicago Bear fans are happy with this?
If I'm a Chicago Bears fan, I would be mortified with what they just did.
Wouldn't you be happier with Deshaun Watson?
I personally would, but again, it's a very weak class. There's only about 3 or 4 guys this year, and some people think that the quarterback from Clemson, Watson, was not a pro-style quarterback, which I don't get. But that being said, Chicago thinks they hit a slam dunk. I think they probably set their franchise back at least 2 or 3, maybe even 5 years.
And that warms my heart. No, why didn't Chicago go after Colin Kaepernick?
Well, it's Colin Kaepernick, and they don't want the. I mean, basically, who had the bigger circus, Tim Tebow or Colin Kaepernick?
Tim Tebow's circus was a happy circus,
but it was still a circus.
Yes, Colin Kaepernick's circus was just a disaster, unmitigated disaster. As a matter of fact, Colin Kaepernick is he in the league? Has he been picked up?
As far as I know, he was released from his 49ers contract, and no one has signed him yet.
He's doomed, isn't he?
No one will touch him. In fact, James, Charlemagne the God.
Yeah, that's
really?
Radio talker.
Okay.
But notice he doesn't spell THE capital GOD.
No, it's THA.
Yeah,
short for thug. Anyway,
no.
Is that what it was?
Good
it's
talker.
Not that?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's urban radio. Who am I?
He says
I'm a white man trapped in a black body.
That's
Continue.
right. You're trans white. So he says that Colin Kaepernick is getting screwed. And he said that Colin Kaepernick should be praised. If Colin Kaepernick was on fire next to a burning American flag, which one would you put out? That's what he said.
Well, that's pretty dumb.
That is so stupid. It's beyond. I'm sorry. I know that you said that he's a great radio talker, but here we have him.
Very. Charlemagne the God is very popular. One of the nation's. One of the top DJs for urban radio
He's
in the country.
He's an MTV star, and he is the best-selling author of Black Privilege. And he's clearly ticked off that Colin hasn't been signed by an NFL team yet, and he's not mincing his words. He says that Colin Kaepernick is being punished for doing the right thing. Standing up for the rights of human beings. By the way, Charlemagne knows Colin. They've worked together as part of the Know Your Rights
Wait
campaign.
a minute.
Wait, what?
Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend was a DJ out in New York.
Wait, what?
I wonder is she part of that show?
Is there a connection? I don't know. But what I do know is that was one of the stupidest analogies I've ever heard. Number one, how are you supposed to dispose of an American flag?
You're supposed to burn it.
Okay. And how are you supposed to dispose of Colin Kaepernick? You're not supposed to. If he was on fire, of course I would save Colin Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's stupid.
I'll probably start with his afro. I heard it is really flammable.
It's just stupid. I saw this and I couldn't believe that somebody was trying to make a case. Of course I wouldn't save the American flag. Yeah, I saved the American flag. I mean, just, come on.
Can the NFL be white guilted into? Can they white guilt some team into hiring Colin Kaepernick for football position?
I don't think so.
They did it with Sam. What's his face? Michael Sam. They guilted the Rams into drafting him.
Oh, we haven't even heard from him. I forgot all about Michael Sam.
You know, he tried to play gay ball up in Canada, and they didn't work out.
They have gay ball?
Well, you know, he tried to play the whole gay thing in the football thing.
Oh, he tried. He flew the gay flag.
He tried to use his gaydom, you know, to get into the CFL, and it just kind of backfired. I think he quit mid-season up there or something like that.
Well,
we have more on the other side for you, my friends. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
The Scorpions on Throwback Thursday. Heavy D and the Boys on Throwback Thursday.
Nothing but love for you, baby.
What you got?
I got nothing but love for you, honey.
Yeah, what else?
I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, honey.
Yeah, what
I
else?
got nothing but love for you, baby.
What you got?
I got nothing but love for you, honey.
Yeah, what else?
I got nothing but love for you.
I thought, is it the late Heavy D?
Yeah, I think
not,
Heavy D's gone.
I'm not familiar with the Heavy D. Yes.
Yeah, I
Heavy
think
D.
it's the late Heavy D.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. Heavy D. Mr. Big Stuff, the original Mr. Big Stuff.
Who
Actually,
do
it
you
was the
think you are?
second Mr. Big Stuff.
Yeah. He
We have another. Notice since the doctor got himself a couple of gazillion dollars from
right.
from United Airlines. Notice how all of this news about airlines tragedies and all this kind of stuff are popping up.
Yep.
We got United is in trouble again because they're saying that they killed more animals in transit than any other airline. United
Right.
Airlines.
Or more animals died in
Sorry.
transit.
They did. More animals died in transit.
Right.
You got that. You've got, we played Kenny G serenading some folks, I think it was on Delta. We got yeah. He was just blowing his horn on the plane. But we have another thing here. This is the story. I think this was, who was this?
Kima Hamilton
All right.
was on the plane, and he said that he had to go to the bathroom. Actually, he says, I had to pee. It was an emergency. He was going to wet the seat. He just had to go to the bathroom. And so he got up before the plane took off, went to the bathroom, came back, and they had, I guess, a security official come and speak to him.
Yeah, the plane was taxiing to take off, didn't it? Wasn't
no,
it?
I don't. He was waiting for the plane to leave the airport. So
Right.
it wasn't moving. It was waiting to take off.
Yeah, it was like it was sitting in the line to take off for like a half hour.
Right. And so he used the bathroom, returned to a seat, and then an unidentified Delta employee approached him and had a conversation that was recorded by a fellow passenger. Note to self, everything I do will be recorded by somebody else, okay? So I'm going to kindly ask you to please come with me, the employee says on the video, because I'm certain that in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm not going down with Dow. And then he says, Camille says, I'm not really clear on why I'm being asked to leave this plane. I purchased this ticket.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. This what.
I had an emergency. I had to pee, and now
Okay.
I'm being kicked off the plane.
But we need to know where the plane was. Did the plane have to return to the terminal?
They don't say that. It says that the other passengers were deboarded and reboarded
Right.
and arrived in Milwaukee an hour and a half late. But it does not say that the plane was actually taxiing. I don't believe that the plane was moving. It
Okay.
was waiting. The plane was waiting to take off. That's
Okay.
all it says.
So they're getting ready to take off. It probably had the door closed. They're going to taxi.
Right.
He had to pee or use the bathroom. And then he asked the attendant. The attendant said, no, you can't do it right now.
Well,
Because,
they didn't say he asked the attendant either. It doesn't
Okay.
say that. It doesn't. The
so he
article,
just got up and he had to use the bathroom.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that one way or the other. I don't
Anyway,
know.
they kicked him off the plane.
Yep. But here's what happened.
Okay.
He left. He was asked, I'm going to kindly ask you to come with me. And his thing was, I don't understand. I purchased this ticket. And he went with the employee and got off the plane. They didn't have to sucker punch him. They didn't have him bleeding. They didn't have to go dig up every bit
Well,
of dirt on him.
That was foolish on his part. He should have stayed on the plane and took the ass whooping, and then he would be rich
He'd be
like that,
rich.
like the doctor.
Like now.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. he
But
would.
I don't understand this. I mean, why? I understand the security rules, stuff like this, but what happens if you, and I've been in this situation, what happens if you truly, I mean, you got to go. If he peed all over the seat, they still would deboard the plane and clean up the mess, right? You can't have that
Right.
kind of, you can't have that.
Right. I'll look at another place. He was asked to exit the plane because he had to use the lavatory when the plane was getting ready for takeoff, and a fellow passenger recorded the incident.
Okay, getting ready for takeoff. Were they on the tarmac and they had to turn around and go back, or getting ready to take off means that they close the door.
Okay. So it sounds like everything was closed because according to an article by columnist Jim Stingle, the flight was getting ready to depart from Atlanta to Milwaukee on April 18th when Kima Hamilton tried to use the restroom. A flight attendant told him the plane would lose its place in line for takeoff.
That's what it is.
So he returned to his seat, but he still had to go and quickly went to the restroom. So he did ask. 2 agents asked him to exit the plane, and he refused. So it sounds to me like they were going to be able to get in line for takeoff if he would just take his seat.
What happened is he used the bathroom. They couldn't go. The pilot reported it. They opened up the door. They sent 2 agents in.
Right on.
To tell he had to leave.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That's right. And all of the passengers except him were allowed to reboard. So they said, and Delta is saying that their flight crews are extensively trained to ensure the safety and security of all customers. And it's imperative that passengers comply with crew instructions during all phases of flight, especially at the critical points of takeoff and landing.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? Was this overdone? Well, what is he supposed to do if he has to use the bathroom?
You're a grown man. You're going to get on a plane. Go to the bathroom before you go.
Okay, Miss Daisy. You know what, Miss Daisy? I'm a grown man. If I tell you I got to make water.
How?
If I tell you I got to make water, then I have to make water. Now I'm going to make water right now. You can't tell me to hold on to my water till we get there.
Can't you hold it,
I can't hold it. I can't hold it, Miss Daisy.
Okay.
I told you I can't hold this water.
But here's the deal. And yes, emergencies do happen. But the deal is you need to go to the bathroom before you even get called on.
But what happens?
To the plane.
Nature, sometimes that happens. You think you don't have to use the bathroom. You sit down, you're sitting there waiting, and you got to use the bathroom.
Right.
Are there no allowances for this? Well, we got to deboard everybody.
No, he should have asked.
The bathroom?
He should have asked for a little plastic baggie.
Oh, are you serious? He gonna whip it out right there and start peeing in the backseat. All right, we got a pilot here. We got Josh. He's an airplane pilot. Josh, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
Hey, James. How you doing today?
Fantastic, my friend. Explain this to me, because I don't understand. If he has to use the bathroom and he can't hold it, why did he get kicked off the plane?
So there's a number of reasons, but you got to remember, depending on the size of the airplane, I've only got so many people back there watching God knows how many passengers. We don't know if you're sick. We don't know if you've got an issue. And whatever you're doing back there, we've got to assume the worst. Passenger safety for everybody is key. So if it's something where we haven't even started the engines or turned, it's a lot easier to just taxi back to the gate, find out what's going on, etc. I can't comment specifically about this flight because this is the first I've heard about it.
Okay.
But somebody mentioned earlier, have the wherewithal to go beforehand, because I'm sure everybody can relate to what I'm about to say. But if you ever fly into LA and for some reason you can't get a gate, they're sticking us out there in the back 40 telling us to wait till the gate pushes and we're able to move in there. Well, every time somebody gets up, we cannot move. By federal law, we are stuck right where we're at if somebody gets up and gets to the bathroom. And I get it, nature calls. You got to, go do your thing, man. But it's a very, very strict environment that we operate in, and all it takes is one screw up, and then there's a lawsuit on our
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you, Josh, and I appreciate you calling again and explaining this to us. Let's say the man urinated on the seat. He couldn't hold it, but he doesn't want to break the rules, and he has a little spill, little potty, little accident on the seat. Are you still going to take off? Would you take off? But if there's urine-soaked seats, or God worse, what happens if he has the diarrhea or something like that, and he has an accident? Are you taking off, or is everybody going to have to go deboard the plane?
Probably in that instance, deboard the plane. So
see, so you either way, you're going back.
It's a rock and a hard place game, and the worst part about that is if somebody messes in the seat. Well, now we've just inconvenienced everybody because they're going to have to smell that for however long the flight is. And I got to tell you, yes, we get fresh air in there, but there ain't no Febreze that's going to take care of that. That seat's
Exactly.
probably getting full.
So
So-
there should probably be some type of. I get the whole thing about safety and all of that, but maybe they could have a buddy system. Somebody go back to the bathroom with
No.
him to make sure he's not what.
That's not safe, James.
Well, how's it not safe?
Because we don't know. Is he lying? Does he really need to go to the
That's
bathroom?
why I'm saying you send a flight attendant back there with him to hold his hand while he's going to the bathroom.
Oh, hell no.
It's not that, guys. When we're taxiing, just to give you an idea how fast it is, we're going about 30 to 40 miles an hour. And yes, these airplanes are so large you hardly feel it. But if an animal comes right in front of across us, or we get somebody in a vehicle that's not paying attention and they run in front of us, and we got to slam on those brakes. You guys are becoming a projectile. And I would hate for somebody to become a projectile. I get it, but either stop, getting trashed at the bar before you come on the airplane,
Right.
or go before you come. I mean, it's pretty simple. We're going to pass and clear 10,000 feet inside of 3 minutes. The minute we take off, we're going to clear 10,000 feet inside of 3 minutes. I can promise you that. Past 10,000 feet, hey, feel free to move out the cabin, keep your seatbelts really fast in case you hit any rough air. Plain and simple. The saying goes, common sense isn't so common, but it would go a long way.
All right.
It would go a
Excellent.
long way.
Let me ask you this question, Josh. You said, but when the wheels leave the ground and you're airborne, how fast are we going?
Depends on the size of the airplane, depends on the weight, etc. On the smaller ones, the 50-seaters and whatnot, we're going anywhere between 140 to 160 miles an hour. And we start accelerating very quickly. Inside of a minute and a half, we're now at 250 knots, which equates to about 275, 280. When we climb, we're going 375 or 400 past 10,000 feet. So we're moving. There's a
That's
lot of
pretty
power
cool.
behind these engines.
That is pretty cool. Can we go faster? Because sometimes I got another question for you.
Stop it.
I got another question for you. It seems to me when I was younger, we would
gosh.
be able to go across the country, a cross country flight like from LA to New York faster than they're able to do it now. Why have things? If I'm right, why have things slowed down?
So it's not that it's slowed down. You mentioned two kind of key parts there. All of your coast-to-coast flights, so let's say L.A. to Kennedy or L.A. to Chicago, you got to think about the size of the airport. In L.A., on average, an airplane is taking off and landing every 30 seconds. So that airport is that capacity. Chicago is there. New York is there. So they have to do what's called metering or flow to try and ease up the congestion.
Right.
Now, going eastbound, the way the world spins, we get what's called the polar westerlies, and we got a tailwind going east. So it's always going to be faster going east.
Okay.
But coming back west, it's going to take a lot longer because now we're fighting a headwind to get back.
Okay. I got one more question. If you like a full airplane, can you do a barrel roll? What would happen if you did a barrel?
Josh, if you have something that you really need to do, now is the time to tell James goodbye.
Josh, I appreciate you calling in, man. I really appreciate the information. It goes a long way to explaining why those rules are into place. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome, guys. And as always, thanks for the celebration. Thanks for the good talk. And it's been great talking with you.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh, he's the pilot. He knows what time it is. He knows how, Have you ever wondered, when you're sitting there, if we did a barrel roll, besides
No.
the coke and stuff flying everywhere?
No, I haven't wondered.
Have you ever been on a plane full of snakes?
Snakes on a plane?
Snakes on a plane.
No.
Because
Samuel L. Jackson and I don't hang out.
Did you hear that one last night when we had a cleaned up version of Snakes on a Plane?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's great.
I didn't hear that.
It's absolutely fantastic.
But I would like to point out that Josh does agree with me. If you are a grown person, go to the bathroom before you get on the airplane.
I'm a grown Miss Daisy. You can't tell me how to make my water.
No, the point of that is you
I
need to
got
get
to
on
make
an
water.
airplane.
I got to make water.
Please.
And listen to Wonderful One KQTH.
Can't you hold it?
I can't, Miss Daisy.
Smokey Robinson and the Miracles on Throwback Thursday. Luther Vandross on Throwback Thursday.
The 11th annual Stella Artois Iron Chef Tucson returns to the Western La Paloma June the 3rd. 2 new competitors will vie for the Iron Chef Tucson crown. You can vote for your favorite now or after Meet the Chefs Night Wednesday, May the 3rd at the Rialto. Sponsored by Rio Nuevo. For details, visit 1041kqth.com. Delta loves to fly in the shows, right? Is that the logo?
I do believe that's right.
All right. While some are dragged off a plane kicking and screaming for refusing to give up their seats or berated and bashed with a stroller, a Garden City woman has filed a civil suit against Delta Airlines after she says she was sexually assaulted on the flight
Wait,
to Myrtle
what?
Beach. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she says the flight attendants did nothing to stop the man next to her from loving himself after they landed. Self-love.
Wait, that's just like that story I told you about my train trip to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gross.
Mm-hmm.
My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling, I want you to play with my ding-a-ling.
Yes, he was self-relating. He was self-relating in the seat next to the.
Sometimes when I'm alone, I relate to myself. I can relate.
But see, that's just it. He wasn't alone. He was on the Delta Airlines flight.
Oh my gosh,
The
that's so
conviction stemmed
disgusting.
from 2 separate instances on Delta flight, Finkley exposing himself to the flight attendants, and the second is for taking another seat on the plane and assaulting a female passenger seated in coach. He went from first class to coach. Just exposing himself.
He should have gone into the baggage compartment.
Well, at least he didn't get up and go to the bathroom before they took off. That would have been bad. Then it would have had to, cancel everything. He waited till they got in the air, then he started, rubber-dubbing,
Oh my God.
self-loving.
That's just disgusting.
Right. So, Delta, you can't. They can't win today. They can't win. In the news, Maxine Waters is back in the news.
Oh, really?
Maxine Millennial Waters.
Auntie Maxine.
Yes, she's back. Stay
woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Those in China have a great trading relationship. They sell an awful lot of stuff to North Korea. And so this president is warning Trump, okay, don't start talking about preemptive strikes. We want a diplomatic solution.
Yeah.
We do not want war in North Korea, Korea at all.
In North
We're getting close. We had a caller yesterday who said that Maxine Waters confused North Korea, South Korea with the Japanese.
Oh my goodness.
Right. With the Japanese.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
I'm Laodicean.
From China, you idiot. So
Are you North Korean or South Korean?
I'm from Korea, you idiot.
I'm from Japan. From Japan, you idiot.
Oh. And we live in Hawaii, and we don't want you to mess with us.
Right. So everybody in Hawaii needs to stay woke. They need to stay woke.
Stay woke.
That's true. That's true.
People in South Korea need to stay woke.
Yeah.
South Korea. Stay woke.
Ross is playing my song.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
What song is this?
This is the girl from Ipanema.
Oh. This is the beautiful song.
It is a gorgeous song.
And it's a way back too.
Yeah.
How way back is this? Is this the 60s? Oh, this is not the good one. What's the one with the girl?
When she passes.
This is the one with the girl? Oh, she comes in this later?
Oh.
Okay, we'll have to keep
No, there's
listening
not a
after the
girl.
show's
With
There is
this
a girl
one.
in this one.
No, this is the one. It's a guy that sings with him.
The whole thing?
Antonio Carlos Obim.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, my friends, we want to thank you for joining us today. Please like and share this page. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon. Joe Pags is up next. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
You're so sadly. How can I tell her I love
Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for today's show. We will be back tomorrow with the Freaky Deek story of the week. If you have not noticed, I'm wearing my new signature cap. You didn't notice it. You didn't even notice it.
You know what? I did not notice it.
Yeah, Ross did, though, but he was busy.
Yeah.
Ross, you like this hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes the hat.
It's a lovely hat, James.
It's got the logo on it.
Sweet.
I know.
You know, you should run out and pick up a James T. Harris hat.
People have been asking for the
because he was
hats.
on Good Morning America.
Hats are finally in.
And that's cool.
Follow the link. It'll take you right to the new page. New page, not on Facebook anymore.
No, really.
You have an online store tied to my website.
Beautiful, James.
JamesTHarris.com.
It's a marketplace.
Look for the shop button there. And you'll be able to get a hat. And I also have some new bling stuff there as well.
But not underwear.
No, not bling underwear.
No bling underwear.
Right. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Yolanda Weinberger, always a pleasure.
It is always a pleasure to join you, James.
Sexy Sidekick, another great job with Throwback Thursday.
Why, thank you, sir.
And we will see you tomorrow afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.